want to take scouting trips before you even relocate, just to make sure that you know the neighborhoods, you know the school systems, just where you're going. So to meet a few brokers, I met several brokers. The good thing about brokers is that they already have relationships with people that own buildings, and they know where to steer you as far as looking for a place. So I met with several brokers, and I ended up finding a place through a broker. If you can find a place without a broker, that's more money in your pockets. If you use a broker, you definitely have to pay the first month's rent, you have to pay the security deposit, and you have to pay the broker's fee. It's worth it when you need a place to live, but if you can save the money without a broker, then hey, if it works out that way for you, that's even better. Like I said, we use the broker because, like I said, they do have relationships with people that own buildings, and they can steer you in the right direction. You fill out the paperwork with the brokers, you do the paperwork drill with them, but they still have to take it to the landlord. If the landlord doesn't approve you, then you're back to square one again. So considerations, whenever you take your scouting trips, if you're planning to move to New York, you have to pay tolls. You have to travel bridges and tunnels pretty much everywhere that you go. You can drive the parkways, and the parkways, I think all of the parkways, I don't think you pay tolls on them. Well, okay, let me back up. This is New York. That's probably not true. Okay, you might have to pay tolls on some of the parkways too, but from my experience so far, all of the bridges and tunnels, you're paying before you go through those. Like the bridges and tunnels, they like $8.50, $17, $15, you know different prices. So public transportation, you really don't need a vehicle in New York. You could get everywhere pretty much that you want to be on the subway, or at least that's the way it works for us. We need to be in Manhattan a lot because that's where the auditions are. So public transportation is good there. We live in Queens, so we take the train back and forth, and it's working out for us so far. Malachi actually goes to school in Brooklyn, so we take public transportation over there. The few times that I have driven my car in New York, I got stuck in traffic. So to me personally, I like public transportation better. I don't really like riding on the buses because it seems like they make too many stops and you don't make a lot of progress on the local buses. Maybe if you're taking the bus like from New York over to Jersey or something like that. But my experience in the city, I took a bus one time. I was trying to figure out where the church was in Brooklyn, and I took a bus. I took the subway over to the place that I needed to be, but then took the bus, and I got to the church. But then on the way back, somebody was like, "Oh no, you can take this bus straight down Flatbush, and you'll be back in where your son's school is in Brooklyn." I stayed on that bus about an hour and figured out later that I was on the wrong bus, and we made about 50 stops in like a span of let me not exaggerate, but probably about 50 stops within that hour is really the truth. I didn't like that too good. Plus, I was on the wrong bus, so maybe that was maybe that was the real issue, that I was just on the wrong bus. But the times that I have taken a bus, I didn't like that too good. What someone told me to do before I even came to New York, and was definitely a very good tip for me, was to not bring my furniture and just purchase the furniture when I got here. And the reason they told me to do that was because then the movers have to move the furniture up the stairs. Because if you're in New York, you're probably staying somewhere where there's some stairs or whatever. Some buildings have elevators, some don't. Mine does not have an elevator. And and I stay on the third floor, so mine is not as bad as some of them. But still, when I got here, because I sold my furniture and gave a lot of stuff away in Virginia, I was able to get furniture when I got to New York. And I got the basics. The basics. I did not get like a house full of furniture. You know, I got a couch, I got a bed and a desk, a couple of desks, one for me and one for Malachi. I brought my my TVs with me, but I didn't buy a house full of furniture. But I do have we do have what we need, and plus the places to live up here are they're smaller than what I'm used to in Virginia, so we didn't really need a lot of stuff anyway. But I definitely downsized a lot, which is a good thing because you know you don't need all that extra stuff. But the tip was really good to have the furniture, to not bring furniture and to purchase the furniture here and let the movers move the furniture up the stairs. So that was the best advice I had